So, welcome to All Bullshit Aside. This is a pop-up episode with a very, very special guest. I'm your host, Sessions from Sessions 365 TV. And today, again, like I said, we got a real special guest, a beloved figure in the Dallas LGBT community, and an OG female MC with 2 decades of experience in the industry, Elm&Pearl legend, and one of the best to ever do it. We got Vonda Potts.
What's good, Pete? What's good?
What's the business?
How's it going?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing. Now you know I gotta come on though, right?
Yeah, for sure. Pop your shit.
One way that I can come on, right?
Yeah, pop your shit.
All right, so I'm gonna have to kick it off like this. I normally say I want to welcome you guys out to the show, but we got 3 rules in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Rule number 1 is don't start no shit.
Won't be no shit.
Rule number 2 is if you see your old bitch up in this motherfucker with a new bitch,
she ain't your bitch no more.
Which goes back to rule number 1 and don't start no shit.
Won't be no shit.
That's what's up, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm all right, man. I appreciate you for coming on. Dope ass intro. You know, we really missed that, man. You got to try to figure out how we can patent that or something, put that on wax. We need to spin that in the club or something. When we can't get Vonda, we can spin that Vonda real quick. Turn this up.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
How you been, man? Where you been?
I'm good. I've been here. I just been, I've been doing a family thing. Like, I was in the community for so long. I gave so much time, to the community and to the club that I neglected family. And not neglected in a bad way. I just, I was following my passion. So it came a time where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to go on and retire so that I can spend time, and that's what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of hosting and MC. It's just not in the community. I've been doing a lot of parties, a lot of functions here and there, but it's just not in the community.
Okay. At least you still in the game, you know what I'm saying? Kicking shit, popping shit.
It's
everybody loves Vonda.
Like riding a bike, you never get how to do it.
Yeah. I can definitely see you with your personality, your charisma. I can definitely see you being able to work all kind of crowds. It don't matter where you at. I can see you at a high school pep rally. I
actually started in the straight world.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, because you are. Tell us where you from.
All right, so I'm originally from Oklahoma. Just to give you a background, I started on the radio, right?
Okay.
I used to work for Power Jam 1140, Perry Publishing Broadcasting. Did an internship there, and then actually got on air with 1340 AM The Groove. Myself and my partner LJ the DJ. He's big shit in Oklahoma still, but him and I, we became like brother and sister. He was older brother, of course, but we did radio. We used to do Friday and Saturday nights, and I used to do the old school slow groove, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. So that's and then in the midst of that, we did some hosting and MC in some of the straight clubs. So there was a big straight club back in the day called Club Lexus. It was off of 36th and I believe like Kelly, but it was the biggest shit. So everybody used to go there. So we used to go there Friday and Saturday nights. And actually do the studs run this motherfucker through the films? I actually got that from him and I, because he would the fellas and I would do the females, but it was always, the men and women. I just flipped the game on it once I got in my own community. So yeah. So started there. I love radio, love hosting and MCing, and I always knew that I was going to do that in my community. I was on the radio. I wasn't out, but I wasn't in, if that makes sense. Like, some people knew, those that were close to me, and the ones that didn't know, they just kind of assumed, like my wife said, you walk like a boy, so you suspect. Like, I was probably already always suspect, real talk, but after I had a career that recruited me to Dallas. Moved to Dallas like early 20, 2001.
Okay.
Came here and I was gonna try to get on the radio overnight with K104, but I couldn't do overnight. And then my real job, which I don't want to say radio ain't real job, but the shit that paid the bills, it was like
Right.
7:30. That shit wasn't gonna work. So I just said, okay, I'm not gonna try that avenue. So what I'm gonna do is once I get acclimated, I'm gonna try to see where I can fit in the community.
Okay.
So I start figuring out what the hot spots were, who I need to rub elbows with. I just first started going to the clubs, kind of feeling out the vibe. Went to Envy.
Hold on. Let's before we get there, let's back up just a little bit. Let's go back to Oklahoma. First, I got one quick question. You an Oklahoma Thunder fan?
Okay, so don't start that shit.
I'm just asking.
Don't, because right now, Mama was listening. I say hell yeah. But because I actually love the Mavericks, I'm neutral on this shit. I'm neutral right now. So I'm a root for whoever win it. But them Thunders, they about that shit right now. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the reason why I was asking is because I did see on your page that you had shared some Oklahoma Thunder posts, and then also my neighbor is Cason Wallace. Yeah, he off my block. He straight out in North Dallas. So I just had to ask because my boy over there doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? We proud of him. So yeah, make sure you keep your eyes on Cason too while you watching them Oklahoma Thunders.
Them fools balling. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Did you play basketball?
I want to say yeah, but then I'm gonna say no because we just signed up for a league, and my old ass is feeling the pain right now. I'm all fucked up in the knees right now, so I ran out there like I could really play still, and no, I can't play no more.
But you did play in like junior high and high school?
Yeah, I did.
Did you play college ball?
Let's just say no, because I got hurt as soon as it started, and I ain't play no more. So it was hell no for me. I never. It's a no. Once you get hurt, you have the fear of playing. So it's like I was so afraid that my knee was gonna always fuck up on me, and I guess I just got it. I got in my head more than anything. But I always still had the love for it, so I always played. Pick up here and there, but the jumping thing, that was a no. That was a no.
Okay. If you so growing
hurt playing, have you ever been hurt playing?
No.
All right, then you don't understand where I'm coming from. Those that have been hurt, they got that fear. So play a little bit in college.
Yeah, I've never been hurt, but I've had friends and like of course teammates that's been hurt, and I can definitely see the difference on the like, they're a little bit more skeptical about, I guess, running and jumping and hopping. The game is definitely different after the injury, so I get it.
You're never the same. Like, I don't know, if you get out your head, you can be the same, but you're never the same. But I'm loving it right now. I'm loving it. I'm so on Sky right now.
Yeah.
In South Carolina, everything to me right now. So yeah, I support women's basketball to the fullest.
So who was you rooting for during March Madness?
Yeah, South Carolina.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm done to the end. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta give Caitlin her props. I ain't right. Girl cold.
Yeah.
Shit. You see what I see?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I'm South Carolina.
Yeah, and shout out to Angel Reese and Camelia Cordova too, or Cardoso doing their thing, because Angel Reese has been balling out. I've been seeing some highlights and she ain't scared.
Did you see her come from the Met Gala and win and kick the ass the other night? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been on Angel Reese though. I mean, because I don't have a problem with her swag. I feel like if you know your confidence and you know what you is, you know your shit, do your shit. Don't let nobody dim your light. So I respect her for that. So yeah.
For sure.
I got me to buy you Barbie t-shirts.
Yeah. Already. So growing up in Oklahoma, did you grow up in a two-parent household?
It started out that way, but I ended up I'm the oldest granddaughter.
Okay.
Oldest granddaughter. So I'm a grandmother's baby. So I was basically raised by my grandmother, who my grandmother has always been mom to me. So yeah. And she was the one I was the most afraid of coming out the closet to because
Okay.
old school grandmas, she kicked around that word bulldog like it was, so I was scared as hell. I'm like, oh God, if she only knew. I like Barbie, not Ken, but I ain't gonna never tell her shit. But she ended up finding out.
Okay. So you're grandma's baby. I can relate because I'm the same. I actually call my grandma mama. We all do, but she's still mama. Only my daughter and like my cousin's kids call my grandmother big mama. But other than that, we all say mama. We don't say grandma or nothing. So I definitely can relate. Who was the first person you came out to?
And this is gonna sound crazy, but the person that knew first was my little brother.
Okay.
He's like 4 years younger than me, but he always clocked my tea. Like he inquisitive like a mug. So I just told him. He kind of knew, and I told him, but he didn't tell anybody. And then after that, as far as my family was concerned, I never really came out.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Because they didn't know about anybody I was seeing in Oklahoma. Like it was like top line secret shit.
Yeah.
But Dallas, you got the most sneaky links, some straight girls that want to be acting like they straight and they crooked like a motherfucker. It was
Yeah.
it was them crooked letter motherfuckers around there just want to be curious. Now
Yeah.
they swinging doors open and shit. Like, yeah, it's a fact. Your ass is back in the closet. So for me, I always like straight girls. I don't know. I think it was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But when I moved here, I just said I'm not living like that no more. I'm just gonna be me. I dove head first into the community shit. I'm like, fuck, this me. I'm not putting on no front. Everybody knew I was gay at work. Um, I ended up being an internet and fleet manager at a dealership, and I'm the only female in the management team. So everybody else is male. Shit, I used to hang out with them. We go to the strip clubs on lunch and shit. Like everybody knew at that point. I was just out. So it was no longer a secret. I was like, I'm putting my girlfriend picture on my desk like y'all got y'all wife picture on.
Yeah.
It's me. Shit. Take me or leave me. But that's how it was.
Yeah. No, that's what's up. That is so funny. So like, okay, so you didn't really have to you didn't really say anything, but what was that experience when you introduced your family to this her? Or was that always your best friend? Or
Well,
what?
yeah, like a friend type thing. And I don't really bring people around my family like that. Like my family was separate. And I would just like paint a picture like, nah, my family don't like people. It was like you always came up with an excuse to why you really didn't bring people around. But I always wanted to make sure when I brought somebody around, they was gonna be around.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the casual fucking type. Like I ain't never had a one night stand. I ain't never did none of that shit. Like it was, for one, is the intimacy was too deep for me to be. I ain't gonna be tasting all that. I ain't gonna be doing all that. Like, and so, and I ain't finna put my mouth on you. I don't even know where you been. So I was real reserved. But once I knew who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, that's the person that I introduced to my grandmother. And we've been together 19 years now. We've been married 9, but that's my wife. And I gave her the disclaimer. I was like, look, my grandma probably ain't gonna like you. She probably gonna be mean. She probably gonna say the word bulldogger. I'm prepping her. But what fucked me up was when I introduced them, My grandma was like, "Hey, baby, what's your name? What's your name, baby?" Sit on, she just took her in, and it was just like love from the jump. And I'm looking at her like, "What the?
Yeah.
Who are you?" But at that point, she knew. My cousins knew. My mom knew. Um, I wasn't really close to my mom. Like I said, I was raised by my grandmother. But my mom gave me that speech. I don't care if you like girls. You my baby. I love you anyway. I always be my baby. That type stuff. So everybody just accepted it. My cousins, who I'm real close with, it wasn't shit to them. Like, bring her around. She cool. She cool. So now, shit, they call her before they call me.
It always kind of go like that when you got a good one. Yeah, they lock in. Okay, so you was doing radio in Oklahoma. You got a job opportunity, and that's what made you relocate to Dallas. Did you go out and kind of peep the gay scene before you started MCing, or how did that happen? How did you start MCing in Dallas?
Okay, so I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I used to come to Dallas when I lived in Oklahoma before I moved to Dallas, just because the Oklahoma gay scene wasn't. We had one little street, and it was predominantly Caucasian, right?
Yeah.
A few of us sprinkled, but no. So when I actually moved, I knew about Cedar Springs. I knew about that area, but it was just a lot of white clubs. So I went there and I asked like these black girls. I was like, "Where do the black people hang out?" So they told me about Club Envy, right? Much respect. Now, one thing I am gonna do being on here is I'm gonna give everybody flowers that paved the way, because a lot of people paved the way for Vonda, and I don't think that we give each other enough love. Now we've grown now. We're way different than we was back in the day where shit we didn't care. It was like that crabs in a barrel mentality, which I hated. But you become a part of it because you drawn into the shit. But there were so many people that I need to pay homage to, starting with Curlin and Dietrich. Curlin, rest in peace, she passed away last year, but they ran this club called Club Envy. And that was the spot for the women. I had never seen so many beautiful black women in my life. And the way, and for it to be ran by a couple, it was just like amazing to me. I'm like, damn, this is the shit. So I went there. Back then, Nicole was hosting and MCing, and I was like, I liked her vibe, but I was checking her out. Like, okay, I need to get in here so I can kind of feed off of that. And then they told me about the Metro, and they told me about the brick, right? The old brick on Maple, not the new brick that came after the brick, but the original brick, the shit where you had the stairs and the floor was down there, the brick. When
Yeah.
all dancing, he had like her this tall, the real brick. That's
Yeah.
that brick. So I went there too, and then the Metro. So I did that for a minute. And then I actually into how I got into the club is because I'm kind of cocky. I went to the Metro on a Sunday night, on a Friday night. And it was like mostly boys, and there was kind of a mixture. But back then, there was this guy named Romaldo that was there. There was Ray. I think Ray owned it back then. And then there was Romaldo. And Romaldo had like a team. He had always with him. I think her name was Chelsea or something like that. But they had like a team. And he was the promoter at the Metro. And so I went in and I asked questions. I was like, who running this night? Whoop, whoop. They told me it was him. I introduced myself. I said, hey, I need to be a hype girl. And he was like, are you good? I said, give me a mic. I'm just cocky. Give me a mic. Now, mind you, I'm bringing my Oklahoma shit to Dallas. So I'm like, they going to feed it. They going to like it. I'm like, I'm going to make them like it. Because I just knew I was that good. So he said, after the show, I'm going to give you the mic and see what you could do. Bet. He gave me the mic. That motherfucker was crunk from the time to back then, 4 o'clock. And I'm doing all this shit for free because I'm just trying to get my feet. Because I brought him a fucking air check tape and everything. Because in radio, you have air check tapes you take to the other radio station to see if they're going to hire you or give you an interview. I brought him all that. He didn't even need the tape. He was like, all right, you good. He said, come back next week. I said, okay. I ain't going to keep coming back for free. Like, we going to He was like, come back. All right. So I came back. He gave it to me the next week. Then I met this chick, Champagne.
Okay.
Champagne ran Sundays. Like she had like a whole stripper thing going on Sundays. Um, and Champagne, I got to give her props. Like Champagne hired me to MC her night on Sundays. And our Sundays was like this. Everybody goes to the park. You in the park, kicking it Sunday afternoon. Shit, you leave Sweet Georgia Browns, you go to the park, you good. Everybody, some of them of us leave the park in the same shit they had on, but they coming to the club. So Saturday nights we had strip nights. So I got to give props to Champagne because she also put a mic in my hand and allowed me to be me on Sundays. And then I also did the brick. So how the brick ended up happening for me was Big Yo. I don't know how Big Yo found me. I don't know how. I really don't know how that happened. I just know that I met her, and she offered the job to come MC for her. And Big Yo had the brick on Fridays. So I had the brick on Fridays. I would go to NB on Saturdays. And then I had the Metro on Sundays. So I was like getting myself locked up in the community. Like, I got this now. Like, shit, they know who I am now. Like, all I need is opportunity to get my own night. So I put in the work. I get like they say, you get it from the mud. I got the shit from the mud. Like I put in the leg work. Build some reputations. Big Yo used to bring me down to host during Splash. End up meeting Flawless. Like we had a good rapport. Like it was just everything was great. So all those people played a part in me being me because I got that opportunity. Now, how Elm&Pearl came along was something happened and the Metro closed, right? Metro closed. Shit, anybody had nowhere to go. Champagne ended up coming over to the brick, right? Okay. Something worked out. I didn't know shit. I just know I was an MC. I didn't know all the rest of that back door shit. That had nothing to do with me. Champagne and Yo, they didn't really work out that long. So Champagne wasn't there no more. It was just Yo, Flawless, me. And then the Metro became Elm&Pearl. These guys, this couple, Glenn and Ricky, they end up getting Elm&Pearl, and that's how it became Elm&Pearl. Ray didn't have it no more, but Ray also came around. He was like head of security. So they had a Friday night, which was for, the boys and mixed crowd. They had a Sunday night, which was for the drag queens.
Okay.
They didn't have shit on Saturday. Saturday dead as a donut. There was one girl that was in there that was trying to do something, and I don't want to say I went behind her back, but it really wasn't shit popping on Saturday. So I knew I could steal that motherfucker. I just knew. I ain't trying to be. I'm like shit. And then I went and talked to Glenn, and I'm like, hey, can I get Saturdays? He said, I'm gonna give her one more week. I said, all right. Same next week. I was there at the end of the night. I'm like, so what? What we doing? So he's like, all right, we're going to give you a shot. I said, okay, bet. So he gave me a shot. We worked up a deal. And Elm&Pearl, Vonda Soulful Saturdays was nothing. It didn't start out the way that it ended.
What you mean by that? It
started out as the grown and sexy, right?
Okay.
I mean, it was like the chemistry vibe. It wasn't like, Nook, if you but it wasn't that. It didn't start out with and I had a whole cast. I had an amazing cast. I had my cast members was Lisa. They call it, everybody knows it's Peaches. I had Tab, Keisa, Ruby Scott, Dee Snell, this girl named Kathy, who's I don't even think she's in the community like that anymore. But that was my original cast. And we had a cast. Like we put on performances, we put on shows. The things that was very important to me was you have to be able to give a good show. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody finna get on my stage, bubblegum, watermelon. We ain't finna be doing that shit. If you don't know your work, you can't give a good performance, then you just can't make the cut. Like, it got so serious for me. We had tryouts to be on Soul for Certain. To be on the show, you had tryouts. We had tryouts on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. if you want to be on the show for Saturday, if you brought your ass down there Wednesday and your show wasn't good, I'll be like, well, nah, you can't do this week. Maybe practice a little bit more and come back next week.
Yeah.
And if you got through the shit and you made the stage on Saturday and you bubble gum, we finna cut. Now cut. We finna, you forgot your shit from Wednesday to Saturday. It was just the standards were pretty high. So that's kind of how it started out. And then it just grew from there. And I don't know what happened. Something ended up happening with the brick shutting down, but we just end up controlling Saturday nights. And we went from mellow to shit crunk to we stayed at Elm&Pearl for 5 years and
Yeah.
it was on live.
That would make sense. The vibe at Elm&Pearl, because I didn't know that it was like grown and sexy at first. Mm-hmm. So now it makes sense when I look back on why it was all those tables at first, and it did start off grown and sexy. It definitely did. It was real. You know, they had their tables. School then was in there with their tables, and they had their little drinks and stuff on the table. Everybody was in there on their best shit. And then after. Go ahead.
It ain't on their best shit. It started out that way, and the crowd just grew, right? And for me, one thing I always do is kind of think, like, you have to be able to feel your crowd, and you have to be able to make sure that, you know, if you're gonna, for one, it's ladies. Now let me rewind a little bit, because when I took over Saturday nights, I kind of got the reputation that I didn't like drag queens. That was never the case. And I'm glad that I'm talking to you now so I can put that shit to bed. I tried to put it to bed, but that was never the case. For me, it was about the women didn't have shit that was their own. Mm-hmm. You had to mingle with everybody else if you was a lesbian trying to come out in the community. So when I decided that I was going to be a promoter, I was going to be there for us and make something for us. So it wasn't like I didn't let because they would ask to be on the show and I'd be like, nah, you could probably be on Sundays or, you know, Fridays, but Saturdays is strictly for the women. And I got a bad reputation for that. I mean, I was a whole bag of bitches, but it was, it was just, I was sticking to the guns because we didn't have anything that was us. That was our own. So That was our own. But now Jody can come on that motherfucker any day and twice on Sundays. So, you know, I mean, we did have, for special occasions, like Jody Malone's one of the best performers ever known to men for me. I love watching her. Silky, I love watching her. Like, you know, if they wanted to come, they were always welcome. It was never a no. But I tried to make sure that it was for us. And then, you know, Bowlegs just one of the girls. Shit, Bowlegs don't have no category. Shit, Bowlegs a family member of the cast. Shit, whatever Bowlegs wanted to perform, Bowlegs was there because Bowlegs that's my girl. So yeah, she became a regular on the show. So also, but yeah, me and Bowlegs went back to the brick, so it was a given.
Tell me, what is one of your most memorable nights overall from all the clubs, from exclusives to excuses to Dream World, Sterling Hotel? What's your most memorable night?
I have a few. My last birthday at Elm&Pearl was probably my most memorable because of the fact that we had over 700 people that night. Wow. It was so packed. It was always packed and it was hot and all type of shit. But that night was really, it meant so much to me because it was my birthday party. And even when the club was over, there was still a line to get in. And that was the love. You know, that was just the love that I was getting. And it was overwhelming. So that will always be near and dear to my heart. And that actually ended up being my last night there because I ended up leaving after that. And it was a whole bunch of behind the scenes kind of shit that I got wind of because the bartenders love me, so they just kind of let me know, hey, they trying to do some shady shit, so you probably want to, you know, XYZ. And then something happened with Candy Barrels. We was bringing candy down, And I was dealing with her manager Don Juan, and we had some shit worked out. And then Candy's boyfriend ended up getting killed and murdered at the time, so she wasn't going to be able to come. But my partners didn't want me to share that information, because it had something to do with Pride also, because she was going to be that special guest for Pride, and it was all about selling tickets and shit. And I'm like, no, we gotta tell them she don't be here, because at the end of the day, they're gonna be looking at me upside my head like, bitch, right. Coming out, So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But because I refused, then it was like some shady shit. So once I found that out, I had already went and found me another location. So I knew that was gonna be my last birthday party there, my last event there. And that's when I left and went to Excuses, which was kind of down the street from Elm&Pearl. Not exclusive, but Excuses. We did that because it was like a restaurant that you could turn into a club type thing, and we could stay open. Elm&Pearl, actually, we ended up losing the late hours permit probably like a couple of years before, I ended up leaving. Because we used to be able to stay open till 4. But then Dallas, they made it to where we had to close at 2. They started fucking putting parking meters out there, started booting shit. Like, it just became, it was like we were fighting against everybody at that time. And I want to say something. I know I heard people talk about, fights and how you can be affected. That shit is real. Like, if you have fights in the club, you can risk your liquor license, you can risk your dance hall permit, because what they don't understand is you get marks. You know what I'm saying? We get fights. And then, of course, that can affect your liquor. Like, that shit happened a lot. The fire marshal getting called. They called the fire marshal on us so many fucking times. And it was because, you back then there was a lot of bullshit. Like, if you got the night in this pack, somebody gonna call on you, and somebody gonna try. Like, it was just some old ghetto shit back then. It didn't, but it still hurt you. That type of shit. In the business, you really don't understand how that shit could actually hurt you. So we had to close it. We didn't get grandfathered in. Like, some of the clubs on Six Springs, they grandfathered in. Like, I don't know who they got in their back pocket, but they shit on lock. Like, they can fucking stay open to 6 if they want to, but everybody else, every other club, you have to close it too. So after that, I ended up going to Excuses. And then we had to find something else because they was just giving too many rules and the parking was fucked up. So I took everybody to the Sterling. The fucking Sterling Hotel. We had a ballroom. That was our club. The ballroom was the club. I don't know if you ever came. That shit was what that was. And my there was All-Star weekend. We had All-Star in Dallas. So we had All-Star there. And man, I owe the Sterling some money still to this day. They broke. they fucking broke elevators. I'm just keeping it real. Like, we so many lesbian women up in there, but I would always tell them, hey, get a room. So because when I created the Pussy Punch, they didn't know how to handle it. Like, they would get they was $3, so they buy 3 of them hoes for $10. Fucked up. Like, that was it. Real talk. So it was a lot of shit that happened at the Sterling. And luckily, the owner was real cool with me. I think she was kind of borderline, like, curious, because she was an old white lady, but she let me get away with murder. And we had to get Dallas police. So I had my own personal security plus Dallas police. But shit, Dallas police officers, they was black. They was too busy flirting with the lesbians. They let anything go down on the nurse. So shit, we didn't have no fucking rules up in there. It was just until the Sterling just got raggedy as fuck. Like, it was just raggedy. But it worked for us for about a year. And then after that, I ended up going to Dream World in Arlington. It was another spot we was going to get in Arlington, but that chick there, she was on bullshit. So we ended up going to Dream World. But with Dream World, it was too far. Like, the things that I look for when it comes to having functions and having parties, and this is the honest God truth, is if it's going to be convenient for the women. Because if you're drinking and you're driving, let's keep it 100. If you're going to the club, somebody in there going to be drunk. You try to make sure that the bar knows when to cut them off and things like that. But shit, some people get fucked up before they even get there, or they go into the car because they already got, they already know what they're doing. You still got to be able to, say, okay, I'm going to think outside the box, and I'm going to think for their safety, and make sure that you close enough to get to the highway. In Dream World, you had to pass the Arlington Police Department. So if they don't catch your ass swerving, you got to get to the highway. That worked for us for probably like maybe a year, and then I found exclusives. Exclusives.
Okay.
And that's now Marty's, but
yeah.
it was exclusive for me, and I was there for about a year and a half, and then I knew I was going to retire. So I took two people that's near and dear to my heart, and I was like, hey, I want to give y'all opportunity. What do y'all think? Which was Lily and Ashton, which is Ashton now. And I said, hey, y'all take this night over, and I'm here for you. Run it the way you want to run it. And they ran it for a while, and then I just said, hey, I'm going to retire. So I took it back and had a retirement party, and that was it. Nobody thought I was really going to retire, but yeah, it was time.
What made you come up with the film team and the stud team?
All right, so okay, so let me tell you about this. I started with the stud team, which I absolutely love the stud team. I had some hitters on my stud team. What?
Yeah.
Best performers out. Man, one thing that if you can say anything about Vonda, Soul Facilities, the stud team, the things I did in the community, it was always good ass shows. There's nobody that's gonna be able to knock the fact that we had bomb ass shows. And the team, that was a break off from the cast, right? Because we had the cast, which they was on their ship. The cast was still on some grown folks type shit. You talking about Peaches, Ruby, D. D ended up migrating over to the stud team, but that was pretty much their thing. So that was their baby. So I wanted to leave that with them, and then the stud team. Well, out of the stud team, we created the film team because the girls, the films was kind of left like, what you gonna do for us?
Yeah.
You don't give a shit about studs. Like, what's up for us? We created the film team, which was like, they was the backbone of the stud team. I gotta say that now because my wife's the backbone of me. Gotta throw that in there. But yeah, it was the backbone of the stud team. So it was just creating something that we can go out and be one, kind of like a fraternity or something like that, sorority. So you have that bond within that group, and that's kind of the reason behind that, and just the love. And they will always be dear to my heart. Like the stud team, I'm so partial to the stud team because they were the first.
Yeah. We posted a picture of the stud team. Of course, we tagged you in it, but we posted them today, and it seemed like the people definitely remembered and was reminiscing and dropping comments and stuff like that on the picture. So that was pretty dope too. What about eye candy?
All right, so eye candy came into play because we always had some of the baddest ass dancers, right?
Yeah.
I always had Monique, I've been knowing Monique since I first got on the scene. Like shit from the Brick, the Metro, all of that. And Monique was always one of them ones that everybody wanted. Like I knew if I created eye candy, she was gonna have to be on it. And I would bring her out, I would be like, yeah, Monique, she got the paw prints going up the thigh. So then I said I had to find another one. We had Brown Sugar around for a while, but Brown Sugar really wasn't trying to be a regular like that. She was like a special, special kind of guest. And then we had Chocolate Tie, which popped in and out. But another one wasn't somebody that's going to do it all the time. Then came this chick that people was telling me about that was either from Baltimore or Maryland. I can't, Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, that area, the DMV. So it was the DC, Virginia, Maryland, that area. So I'm thinking she was from Maryland. but don't quote me on that. So, but Poison,
Yeah.
sing, and I said I gotta get on. You know, mine started thinking. I'm like, yeah. So I'm gonna have these two eye candies, and boy, if that didn't bring out the girls, it brought out the girls. They was already came, and to see the rotation, I had to give it to dancers got game.
Yeah.
Dancers got game. Dancers, they would have 3 and 4, 5 girls in there thinking they number one. But they. I'm telling too much. Telling too much. But shit, just to see the rotation in them, I'm like, God damn, like the dancers had they shit on lot. But
yeah.
much faithful. But you know how you get them ones that you gonna give hope to, like hope type shit, and you bring me every Saturday type shit, but you ain't shit for what you did here in the club tonight, and that's it. You got personal phone numbers, nothing. Like hey, I learned a lot from their ass. Like these niggas, what?
Yeah. They was on it.
Asking me like, you wrong and shit. But yeah, so that's how the eye candy came apart, and I wanted them to make sure that they were there every Saturday night. They danced on the box, and no other dancers. I would put no other dancers before them, because one thing I was loyal to the core, like to my cast, to my stud team, to my film team, like, and to the eye candy. We were all one. At one point, we were so solid. It was a lot of love there. So
that's what's up. What about Uzi?
Okay, so Uzi, I brought Uzi about 3 or 4 times now. Uzi about to get, if you got 400 in there on the Saturday, Uzi about to get you 3 more hundred, right?
Yeah.
The shit, I first seen Uzi at Envy, right? And when I seen her, I thought, this motherfucker is amazing. Like,
yeah.
she was hanging from the ceiling. She was sliding through plastic. And the women in there was like, they was sliding debit cards for her ass. I'm like, then I seen her, they brought her to Splash. So I started to like develop a relationship with her before, like, like I talked to her and stuff like, okay, well, when I get my spot, whoop, whoop. Once I got it, I started bringing her down, right? Her real name is Dana, but I started bringing her down, right? And she would come down for special occasions like birthdays. I always brought her for my white birthday because everybody loved her, and I knew that was going to really impact that night. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Uzi was the shit. Did you ever see Uzi?
I feel like I did. It was so long ago, it was
yeah. All. Yeah, still.
I feel like I did. I might. Is she? Do they got a video of her on YouTube?
Probably, but if you seen Uzi, nigga, that's something that don't leave your memory. That's I'm everlasting shit. Like, you be looking at her like, how the fuck? And then the thing that I really respected about her, and I respect about Pretty P too, is that they just give everybody love. You have some performers that only want to show love to the cute ones or to, the ones that they feel like they might have a chance. But with them, it was just like whoever showed them love, they showed it back. So
shout out to Pretty P, because I'm actually here in Denver, Colorado, and they just booked her for an event not too long ago, and I went, and she's still the same way. She showed everybody love.
She came down. She surprised me for my retirement party. So yeah, I always have love for her. She was never. Anytime I picked up the phone, she would come.
Quick question. Do you remember who the two were in your performance that you posted when y'all was doing the Soldier Boy?
Yeah, I do. I can't remember their I think one of them's name is she's on TikTok. The taller one, right?
Okay.
I can't remember her name, but the little short one, I haven't seen her in forever.
Was that Deezy?
Yes. That's what
okay, yeah.
Check this out though. It took me like 6 months to learn the fucking Soldier Boy. And anybody that know me, anybody that was there will tell you. That's why when you see the video, everybody was going crazy, because I try to do this shit every Saturday and I could not fucking get there for nothing. But
That's funny. Yeah, I seen that video and everybody was in unison and stuff like that. And I was I was showing my girl, I was like, look, this how we used to be back in the day. This how the shows was. They actually had routines. Like it
Yeah.
was actually entertaining.
Real show. If you can ask anybody. If you did not know your shit, you could not be on my stage because I wanted to give good shows. Like you got to be on your words. You can't, and you got to be able to perform. And they will tell you that, and I will cut your ass in the middle of a performance. Not, and I'm gonna tell you first, so it's not like you're gonna be shocked. Because
Right.
if you mess up and you up there bubblegum and I'm gonna have to cut you because that's time somebody else can have and you can come back next week when you learn the shit.
Right. Facts, facts. That's respect. Um, I wonder how they felt about that. Getting cut. How many people got Sandman?
You know what? After the first few times, you didn't have to do it that much because they're not gonna.
They learned they lesson.
We had tryouts though. That's the thing. It was like it wasn't no surprise type shit. We had tryouts on Wednesdays for you to make the show on Saturday. So if you make the tryouts, you know, and if you fucking like the cast was right there. The cast would give you the feedback. And they would tell you, like, hey, work on this, don't do that, do this. It was like, you know, a real performance. So if you got through it, I'm gonna hype you up once you get up there if you own it, even if you're really not that good. Because we had some people that was just kind of scared, wasn't really that good, but they became good over time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep. Little practice. Shout out to you for giving them the opportunity because them crowds was big. I know they was nervous on that stage.
the crowds was ruthless too.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to bring up that I heard people talking about was fights in music, right? Now we had one of the crunkest or the crunkest nights and spots in the community for a while. For a while. I was there 5 years, so about 4.5 of those years. And my DJ it started off being 008. Which shout out to 008. He's a pillar in the community. I love 008. Most of the videos that I got is because of 008. Like he made sure our shit was recorded. He said 008 don't get his love like he should either, because he was that shit. Him and I kind of bumped heads sometimes because 008 would like to kind of talk, and I'm kind of like, don't talk right here, like just play music. So we would go back and forth on little shit like that. He did his part. Now 008 ended up leaving not because of me. It was a conflict with the other two. Like it had nothing to do with me. And then I was able to get Starks. Now me and Starks is like peanut butter and jelly. And I say that because I can say one thing and Starks' ass gonna know what to do, what to say, what to play. I don't have to guide him. I don't have to hold his hand. I use Starks for my basketball tournaments. I use Starks for my picnics. Anything that I did, I would always use Starks because him and I just vibed off each other. Like we fight like cats and dogs sometimes because I'd be like, you and bitch shit. But Starks is one of the coldest DJs around still to this day. Like I don't take it from him. Starks is just that nigga. So with that being said, it's like I don't it's so many people in this community, man, that we need to show props to. But let's go back to the music. So you know Starks is from South Dallas, right?
Okay.
He gonna play Nuck if you buck, hit that bitch with the bottle. He finna play all that. Like he finna get crunk. And mind you, I ain't gonna sit here and say we didn't have fights in the club. We had very few fights in the club. The one thing that I did, crunk or not, was I set the standard. And they gonna tell you, like, I ain't finna go for that shit. What I said at the beginning of the night, that's for real. That's for real. Like, if you fight, your ass getting kicked out. And it's many a nights I kick somebody out. They calling me to the front door so they can plead their case. But you already know. You know. Like, you should have waited and took that shit somewhere else. You know, once they get that pussy punch in them, they get a little jealous. They be bullshit. And they want to fight because they girl in there intentionally pissing them off. Like, you ain't catching the sign. She doing that shit to you to make you mad. Like, ignore her. down over here to Becky. Just spend the
Yeah.
night with, and then at the end of the night, you know what I'm saying, go on make up. But
Yeah.
but the songs don't make people, it's the atmosphere, and it's what you put in play. Like, I'm never gonna say don't play that shit, because you're gonna play what the crowd want to hear, but you still got to control your crowd. And if you see some shit about to pop off, you got to intervene. The security, look, you got to break that shit up. You know, you got to separate that, because it goes back to me saying you had too many fights, you're gonna risk this shit, you're gonna risk, you're gonna risk your license, you're gonna risk all that, and you're gonna pay fines and
Right.
ruin it for everybody else. But it's not that. It's not, the music is not. I don't like to hear people say it's the music or it's the ghetto, it's the hood, because we were known as the crunk ghetto shit. So for certain, crunk ghetto shit. I didn't get offended by that. I didn't, because I know we not ghetto, but we crunk as fuck, and they gonna have a good time. But
Mhm.
they, some crowds didn't want our crowd. I'm just gonna keep it 100. They didn't want to deal with it. We had the crunk crowd. Big Yo had the crunk crowd. The Brick, the crunk crowd. But you have some of the other establishments that are a little more mature. They like the laid back, the chemistry that we started off with. But we have
Mhm.
evolved to this, and this is what we doing, and we enjoying it, and we controlling it. And if you fought in there, your ass about to get barred for 2 weeks. That was my rule, the 2 week rule. That's a 2 week, cooling off period. And it didn't matter if you was close to me or not. I didn't give a shit. And they would tell you, you knew better. If anybody in this motherfucker knew better, you knew better. So
Yeah.
matter of fact, you get an extra week because you knew better. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you knew better. You know what I'm saying? So it's what you said. It's the atmosphere that you set. It's, don't blame it on the music. I ain't buying that shit for now. I did it. I know it's not the music.
Right. Right. And because of, I feel like the venue, it's like they don't understand the culture too.
Absolutely.
So, because I don't think it's necessarily a race thing. I think it's a culture thing, you know. And anyway, that's how I feel about that. I think it's just a
Now, let me say this. I will say that some of it is race related.
okay.
Take that away. Some of the shit is race related because they judging you based upon your race and what you play. Like the white crowd, or the predominantly white crowd, they're really not gonna understand that the nuck, if you buck, ain't necessarily make you fight. It's gonna be what goes on around the nuck if you buck. So you got to pay attention to that shit. I don't think that they are in tune with the shit that we see that's about to happen. You know,
Right.
they think, oh, it's the music. That music ain't got shit to do with them feelings.
Yeah.
It's feelings. It ain't got shit to do with the music. Like, 1+1 ain't 2. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We would know that as a culture. We know that. We can pick up on the signs, like, she, the way she eyeballing her ain't got shit to do with.
Yeah.
You can motherfucking play some Beyonce, to the left, and that's gonna make them think, yeah, you watch,
Yeah.
you see, you know what I'm saying? You've been a promoter, you've been in the club long enough, you're gonna be able to, because I know my crowd. I know
Right.
I can adapt to any crowd. I can adapt to the older crowd, I can adapt to the younger crowd, but you got to be able to read the room. You
Hmm.
even when I MC now, when I MC, because I do a lot of MCs in the straight world. And the funny shit is that I'm still the same Vonda. I just wait till the church people leave. You
Yeah.
understand? Okay, I'm about to do your bachelorette party. I'm about to do your your wedding.
Yeah.
About to do this. So you better let me know when Pastor John them leave, because I'm gonna go ahead and play this Tim right now. You
Yeah.
this Tamia, but
Yeah.
Pastor leave, the profanity is about to come out, and that's the
Yeah.
shit. Straight people like that shit just as much as gay people, but they hire my ass all the time for that shit, and I'll be like, all right, y'all know what y'all
Yeah.
getting. Y'all see them videos.
For real. How you start the picnics at White Rock Lake? What made you come up with that idea?
All right, so being in the environment and wanting to do so much for us as women. The one thing that I thought about is, we be in a club so much. Well, we be in a club, and we really, what are we doing for the kids, or what are we doing for the families, right? So I thought, along with the cast, and I don't want people to think it was just all me. It wasn't. My cast played a big part in some of the decisions that we made, from the picnics, from feeding the homeless, from the bike drives, because the stud team played a big part in the bike drive. We did bike giveaways for Christmas. We did this in this little club that's down, this little house thing that's down the street from Sweet Georgia Brown's, that actually somebody that KP knew, we was able to rent that out, and we gave away bikes for Christmas. Things like that. It was just ideas that came up collectively as a group. So even though Vonda was ahead, you can never do shit all by yourself. So I always have to show. But the picnic came because of that. I wanted to do something with family. And so we decided we're going to start having a picnic. We found the lake. We asked which one was a good lake. I try to do so much in Dallas because one thing I tell you, Fort Worth people will drive to Dallas. But Dallas folks do not fucking want to come to Fort Worth. They act like you asking them to drive to Austin. Like,
thanks.
I figured that shit out when I opened Dream World. I'm like, God damn, like, why do you want to go? But Fort Worth to get on the highway and they'll go East 30 like a motherfucker. They don't care. So we Rock Lake and went out there and paid the little fee or whatever and rented the lake. And once we did it the first time, we wanted to do it again, and we just kind of kept it going for a while. And it was just like the unity picnic, and it was cool. It was cool. People brought shit, you brought a dish, and everybody sat around and just had fun. And now the basketball.
That's basketball.
Yeah, I did the basketball. And we did that at Thurgood Marshall Rec.
Okay.
And we just set it up like a real tournament. It was, women, you pick your team. I think I charged like a $25 entry fee per team. We had trophies. They got I think we gave like $500 per winning team. At one point it was $1,000. I think the first one was like $1,000, and then it went down to $500 because inflation kicked in. Shit, we couldn't be paying for. I had to pay everything. I had to pay for the gym. I had to pay Starks. I had to buy the food for the concessions. Like,
right,
broke. But yeah, we gave away prizes, and everybody picked their own team. We had a meeting, and from that you see what area. I mean, who you play against, the bracket. It was cool. I think my last tournament I did, I think Showtime them team won. Don't quote me on that.
I'm about to say, for y'all that don't know, Showtime is Erica Bobo.
Yeah, Bobo was Showtime back in the day. Now Bobo did back in the day, but as far as her ball handling skills, she got them skills. We got a whole lot of ballers in the community. And Kay Bradley and Tina and them, they were always my refs. So they'd be able to tell you a little bit more, but they were competitive, and they were what that was. So everybody came out for the basketball tournaments, and we did like 3 of those tournaments. But those would
you do it again?
Absolutely. The tournaments?
Yeah, just the basketball part. What's up with doing a basketball tournament? Let's do it once. Let's do it once a year for like Juneteenth or like Dallas Black Pride in September.
We gonna do that. We gonna do that. Now, don't say September, because I think they changed that to June, right?
I'm gonna holler at Betty, and she'll put me on game. She'll let me know we gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Before we get off, you brought her up. Got to shout out to Betty. The wife and I, we really don't go out a lot, but we made a point this year we was gonna start doing more in the community, because I've been out of the community for so long. So we went to Betty's birthday bash, and when I tell you, it was nice. It was at Sue Ellen's, and I know I heard Sue Ellen, things like that, but Betty's party wasn't nothing like that. You got the older crowd in there, everybody chilling. They came out, they showed love, which of course she deserved. And I gotta give it, like I said, I'm giving everybody their flowers. With Betty, I respect her because Betty is on both sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like, Betty is embedded in the community to where Betty did the All Studs trip, All Studs thing that we did in Vegas. You know, it was me, Betty, Swan. We did this All Studs trip where we wanted to just take some studs. We all go to Vegas and we kicked it, and we hooked up with the promoter there in Vegas, and Swan brought some performance down. I got on the mic for a minute, but it was really cool. So if you really want to get into something and you want somebody to be on your team and bounce ideas off of, Betty's always there. Like she's Betty deserves her flowers because she put in her time. She put in her time way before I even showed up here. And some of the other promoters, they put in their time too. Like I got to show love to PT. PT put in her time. Like the people, and I don't think that we do that enough. Like the ones that came before us, fucking give them their flowers. Like we ain't on that level like we used to be. And I'll be the first one to say, like, if you ain't fuck with Vonda, Vonda ain't fuck with you. Not because I didn't want to fuck with you, but if you didn't fuck with me, I'm not gonna fuck with you. I'm just gonna stay in my box, do my own thing. I ain't trying to collaborate with you because you might be on some bullshit. I don't want to get caught up in your bullshit. I just like me, I want to be able to control my own destiny. So you on some bullshit and I get caught up with you, then your people ain't gonna want to fuck with me because I'm fucking with you. You see what I'm saying? Clean up your kitchen, and then you ain't got no issues, and then we can collaborate and we can do some shit together. Because for a minute there was Elm&Pearl Soulful Saturdays, and then there was Club Copa way back in the day, right? So Copa was ran. Their night over there was ran by Twan, which was Stacks, but that's Twan, right? I got to show respect. So he's Twan, right? So Twan and I, for a while, we never, because Twan, I put Twan on the show. Like that was the baddest motherfucking Lil Wayne outside of Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like Twan hit the stage, shit. Girls thought it was Lil Wayne. Like like it's Lil Wayne. I'm like, y'all really know this nigga not Lil Wayne for real, right? Yeah. But she did some hell of a shows, and she branched off and she did her own thing at Copa. Well, it wasn't that we had an issue, but people will make you have issues, right? So you feed into it. I fed into it. I'd be the first to be like, nah, I ain't dealing with that. But after a while, we grew up, we became grown, and we started to do stuff together. So we try to bring things together. After you grow up, you kind of be like, that shit ain't what that is, and you just kind of decide that we one community. And I heard them talking about unity, and I seen some shit going down. I'm like, man, that's not what that is. And I can only say that because there is enough to go around. It's enough gay people in the DFW area for everybody to have a crowd.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask you. Well, I did have like 2 or 3 more questions real quick, but tell me about the lesbian awards.
Oh yeah. We started that. Actually, that was with the original cast. We started that. We just decided to start we had an awards night. We set that shit up like the BET Awards. Like we really thought it was the BET Awards, and that was a vision that I had that we created back then, and we made that shit happen. And that was the first show that I know of in the clubs. If somebody did it before me, let me know. But we did the award show. At my first original cast did the whole play of Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. The whole fucking play. I bullshit you not. Peaches was my dear. I mean, my whole cast. Even Christy was in it. Like then, in the performers from back in the day, there were some badass performers. I don't know what's going on these days. I get a lot of inboxes. I get a lot of people telling me,
you need to come host these tryouts.
Man, have tryouts. That shit matters. But those performers, those are legendary performers. And if you see those performers, like I got on the mic at Betty's event because I ended up bringing out KP. I love KP. As a matter of fact, I love all my stud team, all of them. I love even the ones that we're not as close because they brought so much to me to make me me, and I will always love them for that. But KP is one that is near to my heart. But if you watch KP's performance, that's a performance. If you watch Christy perform, that's a performance. Ruby Scott, Keisha, which I don't think Keisha performs anymore. One of my BFF, Lisa, who everybody knows as Peaches. Those are performers. You know, even the ones that don't do shows like that anymore, like Erica Johnson, performers. They're gonna put shit into their show, and they're gonna perform for you. So it's not just getting up there lip syncing with the same shit you came in the club in. Like, who does that? You can do that. You could not do that shit at Soul for Sale. You could not perform and the same shit you wore to the club. You're gonna have to go in the dressing room and change into your performance outfit to give a show because you're giving an illusion of a show. You know, if you look at our shows back then, them shits was on point. You know, best motherfucking Lil Boosie outside of Lil Boosie. Like
facts. Facts.
Lily, to this day, you can't tell that nigga she ain't T.I. Lily thinks she T.I. So in her mind, she T.I. So just let her think she T.I. Okay, we do that. We just patronize it. She T.I. Shit.
No, for real.
Lily T.I. But those performances were performances. I shared a video today where the film team did I'm So Hood. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I seen it.
The stud team did that shit first. So the film team thought they could do it better than the stud team. Now, I ain't gonna say this to the stud team, but they did that shit. The films look like boys, they did that shit. And
they did
that. You would never be able to tell that those were really film girls. But those were girls, heels, makeup, and all that. They dumbed that shit down to look like boys. And to this day, one of the best performers that was on that show, if you look at this, the one that did Bust the Bus, Ashanti was like this big. And she was like everybody's little sister. But she came so fucking hard with that Buster. What? But that whole performance, everybody on that show, yeah, they did that. Them was the type of shows we had.
Yeah, them was good shows.
They were.
Yeah, you was watching those. You didn't go outside to smoke.
No, you didn't. Nah, back smoke in the club.
Yeah, but I'm saying you didn't walk away. Yeah. You were trying to be first up there. I seen one video. You like security. Tell them to get back. We was rushing that stage.
That was always the case, though. Like I have so many videos, but I'm down with them videos, so I ain't been unasked them video. But so many nights that for me, one of my pet peeves was picking up money while you're performing. Like you got a whole club of people. Ain't nobody gonna steal no money. Somebody gonna see you.
Yeah.
Let the shit sit there on the stage till the performance is over. Because if you pick up money, everybody paying attention to what the fuck you doing. They're not looking at the show, right? Stop. If y'all still doing that, stop doing that. Please stop doing it. Just stop. Ain't nobody gonna steal the money. All right. And the shows, they had not only quality, they had quantity. They was just like some good ass shows. You know, we had pride in our shows.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you definitely set the standard for those shows. I can't let nobody take that from you. I definitely got to vouch for that because those shows was off the chain. Like I remember a gang of studs doing shows. I remember like a group of maybe 4 or 5 of them. They had masks on. They had on all black with red ties. Like everybody they was coming with it. They was not playing with them shows. The shows used to be what's up.
They put thought, and I'm talking about thought into the shows. They put, from costumes to uniforms, and one time the stud team did ice cream paint shop. We had whole motherfucking tires on the stage, like with rims, and we were dressed up in car wash uniforms, and we put a lot of thought into our shows. It's just how much it meant to us. But yeah. We had some bomb ass shows.
Man, if it's any entertainers out here and y'all listening, y'all need to pop out and do a show like that. Y'all gonna make some money that night.
I'm
Y'all
telling
y'all making money now. Don't I know y'all making a couple of $100 or close to it, but y'all start performing like that, y'all gonna go up. Cause I'm gonna come tip and I'm gonna stay inside because you know you catch me on the patio smoking for sure. For sure. But I'll stay in for that. I'll make sure I smoke before the shows start. So I can
that's
for real.
for us. Like
Oh,
doing lip sync battles and shit. Now we started that. We've been doing lip syncing since shit forever in the gay clubs. You know, that's our shit. You know, y'all
right.
got now, but yeah. And one thing I didn't bring up back then, they you know how reality shows are big right now. We were
Mm-hmm.
I was offered a reality show way back then. Reality shows wasn't big like they are now, but
Yeah.
even when I said something to some of the cast members, they was like, "We don't want nobody in our business like that." Because you know they ain't want that shit out there like that. So, but we did get offered that. I don't know how big it would have went or anything. It was just somebody coming to me and saying, "Hey, how would you like to do this?" And you know, I didn't put a lot of thought into it because once I presented it, wasn't nobody biting, and I wasn't gonna do this shit by myself because it would have been
Right.
including them. So yeah.
You should have went and grabbed some of the stud team and the film team. They was young enough. They would have been with the shits.
No, they wouldn't. They ain't no they no the
They
fuck
were with the shits.
hell no, they wouldn't have been with the shit. You probably had a couple of them that would have, but the rest of them wasn't about that life. Hell, they wasn't doing that. Nope. They don't want nobody come to their house. They don't want nobody to come to their job. Know what they do outside of the club.
Right.
No, it won't happen. Shit, I wasn't finna do it. And I know my wife wasn't about that life. She'd be like, baby, I'll do it, but I'll be in the background. You just, that's you.
Yeah. Right.
No, we
So I got two more questions. My second to last question is what impact or legacy do you hope to have left on the Dallas LGBT community?
um I think that the thing that's most important to me is that when I came, I made a difference. Um, I brought something that everybody or people will remember. The good way outweighs the bad. You know, in business and especially in clubs, you're gonna have some issues, and even the issues that I had when I left Elm&Pearl. I can't really take everything away from that spot because that that was my milestone. Everything that I did in those four walls in the 5 years that I was there, no one can ever take that from me. And I have to say thank you to Glenn and Ricky. I don't even know where they are. We don't talk. We haven't talked in shit 15 years, maybe 10, 15 years. Um, but I can only wish them the best, you know, and they will always hold a special place in my heart. And this is me being genuine because they gave me an opportunity to shine and do what I do best. So I can never take that away from them. But I just want my legacy to mean something to somebody. Like the things that we did in the club, the basketball tournaments that we did, the picnics that we did, feed the homeless, all the other stuff that we did outside. I want to be known for more than just a club promoter. I want to have an impact on somebody's life, and maybe something that I did, you know, will be able to enhance another upcoming promoter, and you know they can take some of what I did and enhance their own. You know what I'm saying? Because people take bits and pieces from others. For me, it was always in me. So being an MC, being a promoter, picking up a mic, it's like riding a bike. I can pick up a mic now and be able to rock a crowd. And that's not me being cocky. That's doing me. Um,
Right.
everybody can't be a promoter. Everybody can't be an MC. Everybody, you have to do what's best for you and what's in your heart. Because if you faking MCing, it's gonna show.
Mm-hmm.
You can only fake it so much. But if it's something that's in you, keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? To be the best you can be. Like I never tried to be PT, even though I love what PT did. I never tried to be Betty. I love what Betty did, or Nicole at Envy. I never try to be flawless. We all have our different styles. We all have our different vibes, and Vonda can only be Vonda and be the best Vonda that she can be. You know, so that's what I hope I left, and and people learn and grow from, and take the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I can't speak for everybody. However, I do feel like from the viewers and the likes so far, and just the feedback that I always see you get, people always come in or making statuses. Somebody already on the live come in and said, "When you gonna do the reunion?" So, when you gonna do the reunion?
All right, so I say this all the time in the inbox, and I promise you, I get so many messages about this, and even just being out I could be at the mall, at the gas station, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, nigga, when you coming back? Like, we just need one." And I tell them all the time, and I know it sounds like a record. My plan is to do a reunion. It's not going to be an Elm&Pearl reunion because it's not Elm&Pearl. It's going to be a Soulful Saturday because I can only do a reunion for my shit. I can't do an Elm&Pearl because I can't include the promoters from Friday or the promoters from Sunday because that wasn't me. But I will do a Vonda Soulful Saturday reunion, but it's got to be right. Like I'm not going to just open a spot and do something here just to be able to say that I'm doing it. If that makes sense, right?
Right.
It's got to be the right spot. I'm not about I'm not going to rent a venue. My people have to pay to park. Yeah. The drink's going to be $40. Yeah. What kind of shit is that? Like anybody that knows me know you use $5 to $10 all night long. I don't care if you're late. I'm not going to charge you $20. For one, that's bullshit. Like, don't do it to get rich. Don't do it to get paid. Don't do it to break your people. I ain't never been like, it's never about that. Less is more. You have to think like on a level where if you charging somebody $30 to get in the club, it's them, they girl, they got to pay $10 to park. Now you at $70. Then they got to buy a couple drinks. Then tip the entertainers. The fuck I look like? How many people gonna get tips? How many drinks is a bar gonna get? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to break your people just to have them come out, just to say I'm having an event. I'm not like that. One thing you're gonna know about Vonda is that you're gonna pay $10 all night long. If you get there at 1:40 and we close at 2, you're gonna pay the same fucking $10. Even when I brought I used to bring the VH1 superstars to the club. Like I done brought, Chardonnay, I done brought Brianna, whatever her name, the tattoo chick. I used to bring people out. The VH1 girls from back in the day, hell, I went all the way to Padre Island to host their shit. But just because I'm bringing them, I'm not gonna charge you all this money because I decided to bring them. So that means right. I gotta pay. Even when I brought Uzi in, I gotta pay for flight. I gotta pay for hotel. I'm not gonna be charging you all that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get if you try to charge somebody $30, you might get 100 people, right? Now I'm finna get some knowledge, so hopefully somebody pay attention to this and taking a run with it, right?
Yeah.
So if you charge somebody $10, you're gonna get 300 people. You can get 300 people to give you $10. You can get 100 people to give you 30, right? Now you're gonna need to find a venue where you done rented the spot. You need to be able to get the parking for free. I'm negotiating that shit in my contract. Like, you're not gonna tell me I'm gonna give you, $2,000 to rent this venue tonight, but you're gonna have a parking lot attendant out there to pay for my people to pay. No, I rented the Globe and they tried that shit, and I said, "No, you got to go. I already paid for this contract." And guess what? Yeah. They shit up and left because you give me my money back because they're not gonna pay to park. And then you need to make sure that the area is safe to park because you don't want your people parking their shit and then they come outside and they shit towed. You see what I'm saying? Like, all that has to come into play. So for me, and I've been looking, I looked last year. Every year I say I'm gonna have a party for my birthday. I looked last year, couldn't find no good shit. Downtown Dallas, everybody wanted to charge you an arm and a leg for a space this big, and they want you to give them a $2,500 bar guarantee or 5,000 some old stupid shit. No, no, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna pay to rent the venue, and you make what you make on the bar. I don't need none of your bar. You know what I'm saying? I just want to recoup the money that I paid for the venue. So I'm only gonna charge my people $10 to get in. And you need to make sure they got a place to park that's safe where they shit ain't gonna get told. Now if we can all come, hey, we good. Then I'm going to have an event. And I'm looking, I promise y'all I'm looking. Because I know when I do this one night stand, it's gonna be a one night stand, but it's gonna be a win for win, you know? And I'm always thinking about the ladies first. Cause shit, they gotta buy pizza to get their kids to put them to bed, to pay the babysitter to come out on Saturday night.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, whatever you have, it's gonna be live. Everybody gonna be outside that night. It's gonna be a real reunion period because it's gonna be so many people we ain't seen in 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah, I get all the time. I'm gonna fly in for that. I'm be like, yeah, nigga, fly in. But they say just give me enough time. I'm gonna fly in, and I believe that they are. So, before I get off here, though, if I haven't given love to everybody, I apologize. But I want to say thank you to everybody that played a part in Vonda, because I couldn't be me without y'all. I also want to say thank you to especially the stud team, who was my number one. I have a film team too. I love y'all too, but the stud team and everybody that played a part in the basketball tournaments, the picnics, all that stuff. Because we couldn't have done that shit without y'all. And all these upcoming new, club promoters, man, look, whatever y'all got going on, the shit I done seen, don't do y'all ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't come against each other. And everybody say, we all want to come together. We all want to come together. We've been saying that shit for years. All it takes is for you to put your pride to the side and actually do it. Just do it. Don't take none of this shit personal. Just do it. Because life is too short. That's how I look. Being on the outside of the community looking in now, I see a whole lot of shit. And I'm just like everybody else. We gonna click on the shit, look and watch. I'm like,
right.
The fuck? Like, I'm gonna look at you live. I'm gonna look at you live. But just like I'm live, other people looking at it too, and they may be a cheerleader, but behind the scenes they shaking their head like, we women, you ain't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. And if you gotta be for somebody, handle that shit off of social media. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got the shade room for the extra shit. Y'all don't really gotta like each other. Because I know some people that probably don't like me. They don't even got a reason to like me, but I ain't got no issue with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no issue with nobody. But I'm saying, like, our community is already small. We already got to fight every fucking body. You know what I'm saying? So at least it don't matter if this is your group of people. That's your group of people. We all one fucking group of lesbian women at the end of the day. Whether we young, whatever the case may be. Pick up the phone and handle that shit like grown ass women. Have 40s and 50s. What the hell y'all look like out there squabbling in the street? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna catch a case. Y'all people got careers and jobs and families and shit. Think about that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? These days, they'll love to throw your ass under the jail somewhere for some stupid shit. That a conversation would have been like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I don't appreciate how you came. Maybe I didn't mean to come at you that way. My bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And just squash the shit. Y'all ain't got to be best friends, but you damn sure ain't got to be best enemies. That's just my 2 cents.
Right. Wow, straight up. Well, I definitely appreciate you again for accepting the invitation. Also, I just want to give you your flowers as well because you did impact my life because, again, I was young going out to Elm&Pearl and the Brick and so forth, but just having a safe space where I could actually be gay and comfortably, like it was actually like cool to be gay, not cool as in a fad cool, but like it was okay to be yourself, whatever, what I'm saying, you wanted to do, you could do it. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. For sure. Well, all right, y'all. That's the end of the night. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all tune back in Monday, 8 p.m., same time. We got Ace the DJ coming on, talk about her story, and she want to talk about them STEM awards, and I'm sure y'all probably want to hear it, but y'all tap in, and thank you again.
You're welcome. Hey, y'all, support this. You reached out a while ago, and I'm sorry it took me so long to get back to you, but I'm glad I came on. And man, y'all support this venue. I really like what you're doing. I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. I will keep watching.
Thank you.
All right?
For sure. Thank you.
Night, niggas. I mean, night.